The world's first vegan football club was created on the lush slopes of rural Gloucestershire by Robbie Savage, who most definitely did not intend it this way. When it came time for Savage to retire from playing, his goal was to become the next Gary Lineker, not the next Sir Alex Ferguson, and he never imagined that he would become a coach, for one thing. Here he is, however, sitting behind his desk in dark training gear, with lists of players and forthcoming games written on whiteboards, as he digests his season's first loss and a pea curry lunch at the team's training facility close to Stroud. He is also talking about the future of Forest Green Rovers and the new stadium that will be built across the street. As a pundit, I felt like I'd spoken a lot, criticizing, Savage says. I had also been the director of football, where I discovered that if you speak, some people will think you're interfering. When this came up, I reasoned, why not try it and show people incorrect once more? My boys said, "Dad, what could possibly go wrong? Are you fired? If so, we can be sure you'll have given it your all." Failure isn't something I'm afraid of. As it turns out, things are going very well. Forest Green is ranked second in the National League standings. Savage's Macclesfield team won the Northern Premier League last season with only 3 losses, and he has only lost 4 of 56 league games, with a win percentage that is almost 80%. Even though the sample size is modest and comes from the bottom of the English football hierarchy, it raises the question of whether Savage has finally discovered his real calling. In order to focus on his media career, he retired from professional football at Derby County 14 years ago. He is now reducing his workload to focus on management. Along with his friend Chris Sutton, Savage continues to co-host the Sunday edition of BBC 5 Live's 606 phone-in program. When he can, he also co-comments and serves as a pundit for TNT Sports during midweek European games. In order to attend a 2-hour Zoom session as part of his studies for his UEFA A license, which he needs to get before moving on to his pro license, he turned down a hosting role in Wembley's corporate lounges during Thursday's England vs. Wales friendly. Savage adds, "It's hard, but they're the sacrifices you make. Sacrificing, dedicating. I've sacrificed all my life. I haven't gotten where I've got by doing things half-heartedly. I'm all in. At 50 years old, I didn't think I'd be living on my own in an apartment in Cheltenham away from my family." In 2020, after Macclesfield had been demoted from the EFL and ended up in the High Court, Savage teamed up with business partner Rob Smethurst to purchase the team. This is where the story of this unintentional manager begins. Despite having almost £500,000 in debt, no players, and a dilapidated stadium, their Phoenix team was ready to compete in the 9th Division of the Northwest Counties by 2021-2022. After serving as Macclesfield's director of football for 3 years, Savage took over as manager in 2024, after leading the team to their 3rd promotion in 4 years into the National League North and signing a new contract. He left for Forest Green. "I couldn't have accomplished anything more," he claims, "but I looked at pictures of myself at the end and I looked ill. I was ill because of the pressure. I needed that release because I was doing most of the work, like making sure the signs were up, designing the kit, getting it branded, and making sure the orders were placed and deliveries were taken in the bar." Under club owner and renewable energy tycoon Dale Vince, Forest Renewable is just one rung up the pyramid, but they have many more resources and goals. "We have 2 physiotherapists, 3 fitness coaches, 2 chefs, 4 groundskeepers, 2 members of the media team, and recruitment and analytical staff. We will also hire North and South scouts to help the athletic director." His deputy, John McMahon, has joined him from Macclesfield. Sporting director Mark Bowen, a former Wales teammate and coach at Birmingham and Blackburn, is a great source of advice for a new manager. People say Forest Green isn't big, as historic, and doesn't get as many fans as Macclesfield, and maybe that's true. But for me, it's the next incremental step. This is a full-time club in the beautiful part of the world with a brilliant, passionate, caring owner. I've been offered jobs at clubs higher up without the same opportunity. Vince funded Forest Green, a team from the community of Nellsworth, to rise to the EFL. They played for 7 seasons, including one in League One, until being relegated again in 2024. The 64-year-old, who 2 years ago named Hannah Dingley as his temporary first-team coach between Duncan Ferguson and Dave Horseman, has never been scared to be unusual. He also has no qualms about firing prominent managers if things don't work out. Ferguson lived for only 6 months, and Troy Deeney, Horseman's successor, did not last more than a month. We talk every day, and I think Dale is a fair person. He's a great person. I can see his emotion in the stands, and he cares. The training ground belongs to him. He will always act in the best interests of the football team. We've already provided him with entertainment and attacking football. That's the goal, as well as to incorporate the youth squad. Let us introduce our own players. Dale holds certain beliefs, and we follow them while we're here. We eat vegan, and the canteen's cuisine is delicious every day. It has a lot of fiber and protein, salad and lots of fresh fruit, a lot of corn. Our lunch was pea curry. Fantastic, I love it. When Savage's son Charlie spent 5 months at Forest Green on loan from Manchester United before joining Reading, he had his first intimate experience with Vince and the club. On social media, people make fun of us. Safe travels to all the Forest Green fans is what I'll post, and they'll respond by saying that I could just tell each of them separately. But we made it to the EFL first out of all the village clubs. We have half the population at our games compared to Nellsworth, which has 6,000 residents. When he accepted the new position, Savage cut back on his media responsibilities, but he didn't want to give up his other career and his broadcasts from the BBC studio in Gloucester when needed. He asserts that he is not naive. If I had given up all of my media and lost my first 10 games, I wouldn't have a job. In the back of my mind, I'll wonder, do I have to give up Sundays on 606 or give up the TV altogether if we go on to the EFL? But because I enjoy analyzing formations, breaking down games, and interacting with people, there may be a time when I return to the media if I'm not a very successful manager. But management has changed his perspective. As a pundit, I didn't realize that you never know until you've walked in a manager's shoes. Unless you've been in it, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know the parameters. You don't know anything when you're criticizing managers, which is understandable given their work. I wasn't thinking this way when I was a player. Will I play the next game? Was what I was asking myself. Usually, your only concerns are being paid and making the starting lineup. You're at risk as a manager. Every day, fans and the media scrutinize your work. Even if you agree to a 4-year contract, the club may decide to let you go at any time. Your severance will be paid, but that's not important. Your contract is essentially meaningless if you lose games because they'll change it. And that's okay with me. With a 4-year contract at Forest Green, Savage knows that he has a lot to learn about his first full-time managerial position and how to adapt his style to its demands. He acknowledges, "I've always been very insecure. I'm concerned. I think about things a lot. You put on a show as a manager or player. You'll be on stage soon. When you win, that's the release of pure emotion. I would always call the manager or assistant manager to find out if they thought I would play in the next game if I had performed well. I have highs and lows. I can't have a middle ground, despite what people say. We put in a lot of work during the week to receive benefits on Saturday, and I relish every second of it when we succeed. I take it personally and get depressed when we lose. I can't be level. That's not who I am now. I know I need to improve at determining if I'm high or low, but that's just who I am." In the coming days, Savage will encounter some of his former realms. First, some of his punditry friends will watch a live broadcast of an FA Cup 4th qualifying round match at Worthing. Savage says, "Monday night on the telly, big game on TNT, people wanting us to fail. It is, of course, Forest Green, Dale, and me. Although we're not the biggest, we're probably the most well-known National League team in terms of the media." Then on his 51st birthday that following Saturday, he drove Forest Green to Carlisle, where he was coached by Mark Hughes, who was his mentor during his career at Manchester United and later his manager at Blackburn and Wales. Let's return to the pursuit of promotion, which will eventually determine his success.
We're going to give it our all, Savage declares. We'll try again the next year if we fail to rise. I've had stability over my 4 years here, so we'll go again the next year. We'll ascend, and I know the repercussions if we don't.